Good day, everyone. Welcome to Youth Lounge. My name is Egruje Jeremiah.
And my name is Jadisola Taiwo, and it's great to have you here.
Welcome to another amazing episode here on Youth Lounge, as we have striking topics to discuss with you on tech, finance, and so many various aspects that concerns the youths. Today, we have an amazing guest with us in the house today. Someone who is not new to the fashion industry, who has done a lot. And currently, you'll be excited. Do not go anywhere. Trust me, you need to watch today's program. And with me here on the show, ladies and gentlemen, I have none other but the CEO of Chappie's Thread, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Chappie.
Thank you very much.
So glad to have you on the show,
That was a
Chappie.
very wholesome introduction.
How are you,
I'm
Chappie?
good. I'm having
Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you. I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
I love what you're putting on, Chappie. Can you tell us something about what you're putting on?
Well, what I'm putting on is a cashmere kaftan. I know why you asked me the question.
Because
you know, the thing is, I just needed something to wear today. So one of the big flex about having and running a fashion line is I just sealed this morning.
Whoa.
I think it's
you just got this ready for this morning.
You could do this in like less than 2 hours if you are strong
I
enough.
think the average Nigerian can say that.
I feel like
You're
a fashion
telling me get
person.
ready for you in
Like
like 2 weeks.
in 1 week.
most times, there are other factors, but yeah, it's a big flex. I'm grateful.
But this is looking really nice.
This is
Thank you,
really
ma'am.
nice.
It's called
Just
Steez.
today.
Just today, this morning.
It's glorious.
It's called
Steez.
Steez.
Glorious
Steez.
Steez.
Glorious Steez. Beautiful. So, Chappie, what can you tell us about Chappie's Threads, actually? Let's start from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chappie's Thread is a clothing line I started at 2019, 2020.
Okay.
That's slightly before COVID,
Okay.
during COVID and after.
So it came to you during COVID?
Well, the clothing line, okay, this is how I got the clothing line. So I went to Redeemers University and I was the best dressed male for like,
Come on. Talking about some Steez.
Interesting.
for like 2 years in a row, I guess, in the best dressed male in my department and in the
Okay.
whole school. So it's not a business that I would say, oh, I just slept and I just thought about it. So it's something that I already had the
You already
audience
had the flair for it.
and the
Okay.
flair. So I already had, if I told someone you could wear purple and red, he
They
will
should
not
trust
even,
you to wear the
he will
purple
not
and
even
red.
ask, does it go? So I just started the business and unlike so many the business, it started really well.
Okay.
So because I already like knew how to combine colors and stuff. So that's how I just came up with Chappie's Thread.
That's beautiful.
Interesting. So what will you say that stood out for you in like fashion? Like what really stood out for you like as your trademark?
Okay. So when one thing about me is I really don't take so many fashion risks. I'm not one to do the most. I believe
So give us an
in
example of that fashion risk. That
Yes.
So I believe in simplicity.
Okay.
So you're wearing a kaftan. I believe if you're wearing a kaftan, you can wear a plain kaftan. Do you understand? With a nice pocket. You get. There's no need for you to have pocket here, pocket here, pocket here, pocket. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the kind of idea I believe in dressing. If you're wearing a suit, I believe you should not do more than 4 colors. If you're having any extra colors, it should be something that combines one of the 4 already. So too much, you're not rainbow. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's something, and it's actually an Italian way of dressing, corporate and classy, simple, not too much, too busy. So that's actually the kind of dress sense I have and kind of dress sense I try to advise people that want to order.
So will you say that's your style?
Yes,
Like
I was most definitely. That's my
suit.
style. Suit and kaftan.
Suit and kaftan.
If you see me on casual, you should pray.
You should wear.
So, Chappie, the reason why you're here today is because we are so concerned about the fact that as a successful business owner, we want to know how has Chappie's Thread impacted the community? Because we are concerned about people who are using their own business line to impact the community, because that's how lives will also be touched from whatever you're doing.
Okay, so for 2 years now, most especially last year, I think that's when we started Essence Foundation. That's the foundation I
Wow.
run,
That's
and
really
it's
nice.
That's beautiful.
That's really beautiful.
and it's okay. Let me just tell you the story behind it. So
Okay.
Okay.
most times, as when you look at the orphanage, most times, every time we go to the orphanage or people go to the orphanage, the only thing we take to the orphanage is
Noodles,
Food.
rice,
rice,
tissue paper.
beans, you get
Yum.
shoes, even clothes that we are not even using
Very
again. Do you get what I'm
correct.
saying?
Very
Even the ones we are
correct.
using, let's just say we want to be good, we are great people, we give them new clothes.
Very true.
But then we forget the fact that as orphans, I actually went to the orphanage. That's when I saw these things. At a particular age, they have to leave the orphanage. So because they cannot be there
Funny,
till
even I didn't
30.
even know that.
They cannot be
It
there
just
till
clicked.
30. Do
It
you
just
get?
clicked.
Actually,
Like it just clicked too
It
when I
just
was there.
clicked.
So they cannot be there till 30. At most 18, 20, you should be out. How you want to do it, they don't know. Even if you are a gate man, at last, as far as you can
Just carry your
work,
luggage.
you can work.
as far as you can work and you are
And go.
sane, probably you don't have any special needs or whatever,
Yeah.
you should be able to find a way out. So last year, I with a few friends, Chappie Straight, so we did something for the orphanage. We got them about 4 sewing machines, got them
Whoa.
like 50 yards. So basically, we
Whoa.
trained
50 yards.
or more.
Well, that's a lot.
Like for the year, they were probably double, but
Whoa.
for
How
that
much a yard of
event,
material is now?
Hey,
so
in this economy.
it's a lot.
Happy Straight is
But
really
like,
Let's not start
but
dissecting.
at that point, you won't even think about all these things because the goal is just to make sure that you leave an impact. So we got them 4 sewing
Yeah.
machine clothes, over 3 dozens of tape. And the most important thing, we got them a lecturer, like somebody who could
Oh,
go there,
yes.
teach them
Yes,
how
teach
to
them,
them
sew.
through.
not just having the
Exactly, not just having
equipment
the
and not knowing how
tools,
to
yeah.
use them.
So we got them that, and I think the teaching ran for like 5 months.
Wow.
Like there was a time I got the last year November, and then they sew
Okay.
a kaftan for me.
Are you serious?
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's the sweetest thing you could ever
Tears
imagine.
down your
So
cheeks, bro.
it's actually something that I want to do at least every year, if possible, even twice a year, Lagos and Abuja. So so far so good. We've been able to train 35.
Whoa, can we clap to that?
No, yeah, we have to clap for that. 35, not easy. Come on.
Whoa.
So far so good. The best of them will obviously equip them enough to be independent.
That will literally help them to start off.
Yeah, start with
something good.
something.
Yes. Some
I
of these
mean-
people don't even know what is possible till they hear stories. Do you understand? Because most of them, they still want to be doctors because they don't really know that you can be a tailor and still live
I mean,
Yes,
things have
and
changed.
comfortably.
Things have changed now.
Gen Z times.
As in.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Chappie.
you so
That is
much.
really amazing. So, one more question. What were the challenges you faced? Chappie Straight as a brand,
Okay.
yourself taking this up with your business and your personal life, schooling. How did you manage up and delivering to clients? You know how people are in Lagos with the whole, this is not the size that I gave you, this is not the material, stuff like that. You deliver material, dispatch.
Challenges with the customers.
Exactly.
How
did
do
you manage
them?
yourself as the brand, your personal life, and with your customers as well?
So it took me time.
Okay.
It took me a long time to actually balance it up. So one thing I realized is the main, I'm looking for the right word to use, but the main loss we have in the fashion industry is fitting. So imagine I'm here in Lagos. I shuffle Lagos and Abuja though, but let's just say somebody orders from Akwa Ibom State or Calabar or Ekiti, and you ask the person to send measurements, and the person just goes to his sister that can sew. But you're a guy and she's sewing gowns. Do you get what I'm saying? So you just measure me for this tailor, Jerry. And they just give you a very wrong measurement. And if I follow that measurement and I sew, you're having. It's a suit you ordered, though, but the suit is not what you ordered.
You expect magic to
Do you
happen.
get what I'm saying? So what you ordered and what you got.
Yeah.
So I think what I had to sacrifice is structure. So I had to create structure in the business.
Okay.
So what that means is I had to earn less. You know, as an entrepreneur, you have to learn to, as an entrepreneur, you pay yourself last.
Mm.
You pay your staff first because you are the boss. Do you understand that? You are the ones that will eat last because you don't, there's no excuse to give your staffs. You get. So what I did was I created a structure. So I have 6 staffs presently, 3 full staffs and 3 part-time staffs. So I have people in some like of the most important Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom, Abuja, Lagos too. So I have people there that take measurements for me. So people that can afford to pay for measurements, they do that too. And I had to put some structures in place to, so that, because sometimes it's actually also a loss on my part. Because they'll tell you that I sent you measurement and it's not their business how it fits. And then another thing I feel like every tailor knows, if you're good enough, a good tailor can get your measurement off a picture. That is like a good skill. So you imagine you've sewn for more than 300 people, but you look like some. But I look at Jerry, and Jerry looks like.
That really happens.
Jiggers. Yes, now I look like Jerry, and Jerry just has my similar body to the last person I see.
Plus or minus
I know
one.
that this thing will size you. You just have to reduce it just a little bit. Do you understand? So I had to start taking, I'll tell them to send pictures, then get a rough measurement, then basically structures. So ever since I got part-time people, like in Abuja, to take measurements and everything just went smooth.
That's beautiful.
So structures are very important in order for you to not lose so much.
And lose
But
your
like,
clients.
how did you balance your personal life?
So the thing is, I watched something, and then in that what I watched, the student asked the teacher that, what if your passion doesn't make you money? And the man said, can you eat your passion? And he said, no.
Wow.
Then he said, go and find something that makes you money, then to be able to fund your passion. So I feel like at the beginning, I was trying to blend it, but at the point, I just had to drop personal life a while to actually focus, because, you know, as a man, there's no excuse to not being able to provide. You get what I'm saying? So I had to drop that aside and focus. So at the point when it was stable enough, like I said, structure. What structure does is it can work in your absence. So when there was structure, when I grew enough to be able to put some things in place that even if I'm not available and I'm doing other things, it could work in my absence. I have a secretary and everything. So that was able to help me to be able to be absent, and I could just go, I can go for a week retreat, and I know that everything is in good hands.
Because you're like delegated, right?
So there is structure. So that's really helped me in the whole business. I have a team, and I'm very grateful to everyone in the team. And
I think we should clap to that.
Yes. That's really nice.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Okay, just in that same light, you know, you have different people you're working with.
Yes, I do.
You have different personalities. You have different reactions. And all of that. How do you manage all your staffs? How do you manage them, like relational aspect and even with their temperaments?
So business-wise, I think I already had a good knowledge of people management, and it's something that I'm very big on. I was talking to a friend of ours. Recently I've been talking to a few of my friends, and I've been very big on, we live in a generation where everybody wants to change it for somebody. But people don't realize people don't realize, yes, everybody's like, I'll change it for her. You don't know who I am. But people don't realize that that's not the goal. The goal is actually to be able to see somebody boiling hot and be able to bring the person to the lowest room temperature.
Can you give us an example?
So, for example,
okay, so what scenario?
So for example, last week, I had an order. It was an express order.
Okay.
So it came in on a Monday. The guy had a wedding on the weekend, and he was like, I have this wedding. Please, can you please? The person that I first gave messed up. I was like, okay, it's possible. He gave me, by the way, he gave me on Monday. The wedding was on Saturday.
Whoa.
He's in Abuja.
Whoa.
I'm in Lagos. I was like, it's going to cost you, but I could get it done. Do you understand? So firstly, I think in 5 years, I've only disappointed one person because I don't take something that I cannot control. Do you understand? So I try as much as possible to deliver 4 or 5 days before the event.
Okay.
So if it's not possible, I don't do it. So I just told him that it's possible, but it's going to cost you because there are some the fashion, this thing is sometimes it's not every part of this fashion that line that you have all the equipment.
Okay.
Do you understand? So there are some things I have to, like embroidery stuff, probably you have to pay someone, but for the person to double up, nobody sees good money and says no.
Very
so if you say I'm going to pay you, I need this in 5 minutes and I'm going to pay you how much? I'll pay you. They will probably even leave their family. And, you know what I'm saying? So he told me he needed it on Saturday. So this was what I did. So it was ready on Thursday. I could not get the color for the cap. It was ready on Friday. Wedding is on Saturday. I don't think there's anybody in his family I didn't get a call from. But then I already understood that, like when you understand how to see conversation from perspective, it helps you to manage in conversation. So you realize that sometimes when somebody is angry at you, it's not because sometimes, like when somebody is angry at you, I know you want to be defensive, but then you need to understand why the person is angry.
Okay.
You might not have done something intentionally to make the person happy, but it happened and the person is angry. So you need to understand perspective. So when I got the calls, I just kept telling them that you will get it. Do you understand? Good evening, ma. Please, the wedding is... I understand, ma. I promise you get it. I read this and I gave you my word. What I did was, that Friday night, I sent it to the airport.
Okay.
So I had to, instead of sending it through road, I had to use my own personal money because it's
that's a lot.
It's in the brand. When your customers see how far you go to make sure and ensure that they get their thing on time and the best way. Do you understand? There are some times that I'm not even at fault. Probably you send me wrong measurement and I'm not at fault for this, but I make sure that you paid for this thing now. So I make sure even if I use the same amount you gave me for the kaftan to make sure you get that kaftan. So I paid for the cargo. It was almost half of the money that, because I needed it to leave at that point. Do you understand? And I told him that, don't worry, I paid. He was like, okay, should he send me the money? I was like, it's your wedding, just calm down. After the wedding, we can sort it out. Just let it get to you first. And he got there, I think, it could not get there Friday evening. Wedding is by 9 o'clock. So Saturday morning.
How do you guys even sleep?
Yes, like, the
thing is you don't sleep. The thing is you don't sleep. But then when you have, like I said, structures, do you understand? So I already paid somebody in Abuja to wait at the airport.
Oh, nice.
Do you understand? He was like,
he said something about structures. This is when they come in to help.
He was like, boss, I've been here for 2 hours. I was like, do you want to eat? I'll send you money. Go to the restaurant at the airport and eat. What do you need? Do you want to buy something? I'll send you money. Just make sure you wait there. This is somebody's wedding. Do you understand? I'm not at fault.
Yes.
Because you don't plan for a wedding a week before the wedding. But because I said yes, you know the thing about favor is, if you are driving someone, let's say I say I want to help you to that place. But then I said I'm going to help you by 2. And I mistakenly slip off. By the way, you are stranded though. You don't have anywhere. I'm the one that just said I want to help you. And you said I should get you there by 2. And I just said, okay, I'll get you there by 2. And I slip off. And it's 2:06. And that means I'm supposed to have picked you at 1:50 at least to get there. Yeah. And I wake up past 2. And just say, okay, I'm coming. You have the right to be angry at me, even though I'm doing you a favor.
True.
Because
I
said yes.
Yeah, you've given me.
That's the very funny thing about it. So I said, okay.
You just have to stick to your words.
I just called him. I didn't even answer anybody. I just called the groom himself. I said, hello. I've given you my word. You will get I now told him the things I had in place. Do you understand? He was really, and I was like, are you listening to me? I was like, calm down, are you listening to me? He said, yes. I promise you will get your. I was very affirmative. You know, when you are hearing and you're not
wedding is in a few hours. You can't be telling him that. Don't worry, you get your clothes. I told you
get your clothes. You get.
You are going to get your clothes.
I'm going to cut this color. You get what? No, you don't do that. That's the goal. That's the thing. If we have these attributes, if you read books and you have these attributes, there's nowhere you cannot thrive because you understand how to manage people. He got his suit, he took beautiful pictures. Before I even went for the wedding, he even sent me video, like, my guy, thanks, so, I will go see after the wedding, And I dropped my phone, and guess what? I slept. Because I had not slept for a while, do you understand?
Yeah.
And immediately after the wedding on Sunday, he sent me probably double of what I spent. I didn't need him to. I even texted him, I was like, you know what? If you can just pay, I spent a lot of money, but I was like, if you can just pay just like 10% of everything as agreed, don't worry, just take it. And he was like, don't worry, you tried. And he sent me a bulk. And I was the one even praying for it. You get, so I think that's how it works.
That's beautiful. So I still have more questions to ask you. I don't know about Jadi, but I want us to go on break shortly.
Yeah, we have to go on a break.
We have to go on a short break, and we'll be back with Chappie for more gist. Trust me, for those of you that have been watching, I'm sure you want more, and you want me to leave the screen right now. Go back to Chappie, but we'll be back after the break. Thank you so much. Please don't go anywhere. See you soon.
Back to Youth Launch, and we're still here talking about something really interesting, the Startup Spotlight, and we're still here with Chappie. So come and let's continue with the gist. Yes. So I wanted to ask, what can you say to like young entrepreneurs coming up here? They are trying to create a niche and a brand for themselves.
Yes.
How can you encourage them? You have gone ahead and saying some things. How can you encourage them?
Well, I feel like we see it all over the it's true. We see it all over the internet. We hear our parents say it, and sometimes we don't really know how important it is. But the truth is, hard work pays. No matter what field and what talent you have, hard work pays, and you can't really thrive if you don't work hard enough. So I'll give you an example. During COVID, I was very active on Instagram. I had a bunch of followers. But then I did 4 interviews with big celebrities. Everybody was at home because it's Instagram Live.
Yeah.
But what some of my friends don't know, he's my guy, is that what you don't know is I sent over 120 emails.
What?
And each 120 emails, you have to edit them. You cannot just send it to look like a broadcast.
Yes.
You have to edit them to fit the person. So what I did, I got a bunch of friends, did sub for everybody, gave them this thing. They were able to do like 50. I did like I counted it some months ago. It was over 130 and 4 replied. So now the truth, what I'm trying to get to is, if you take enough risks, there is no how one will know bossy.
Actually.
You get what I'm saying? If you take just enough risks. So, and it's always hard at the beginning. But I also advise that they get a role model or a mentor. There's a saying, I can't remember what it says, but you don't see as far as when you're on the shoulder of an elderly one. Somebody that has already, a young child, you might not see so far because it's so short. But when the elderly one puts it on the shoulder, he can see far enough. Because if somebody that wants to start today feels like he's proud and he can do it,
can do it all by himself.
You'll see a lot too. But if he comes to me and I'm like, okay, because I have people that come to me like that, and I'm okay, don't do this, because when I did it, or more, do you understand? You can be able to, if I took 10 steps, you can be able to at least get to 4. If I did it in 3 years, you can do it in a year, because you were able to see that I did not make the same mistakes. And then another thing is, you should not give up. my parents were not really supportive in the beginning until they saw money.
I think it's very common.
It's true.
Yeah.
Till the money starts coming.
And the truth is, you can't blame them.
Actually.
Our parents believe back then, the people with the money are doctors.
Yeah,
and I'm always telling my dad, doctors are not rich. They are comfortable, but they are not rich. Do you know what rich is? Do you get what I'm saying? They are not rich. They are comfortable. So, you know, when you tell your dad you're a tailor, do you understand? At that time, I did not even sew. When I started, I wasn't sewing. I just had people that sew for me. Do you understand? Now I don't even sew often. I don't even sew. I just have people that sew. But I know how to, but I just have people that sew for me. I've gotten to that point. So you tell your dad you're in a private school, learning computer science.
As in,
even the computer science was hard because he wanted a doctor. Until when, you know, some parents, my dad gets conviction when he hears it from outside. Do you understand? And it's okay. It's fine. Like, you cannot tell your dad you want to be a carpenter and you believe until when he sees somebody tell him that, do you know I made 1 billion from being a carpenter? Then your dad will come home and say,
my son is a carpenter. Do you know?
Please come and hold my son in the house. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was hard. Do you get what I'm saying? And then until one day he saw I got a contract for about 50 suits. Then he just kept seeing suits come inside the house. 1, 2, 3.
You have arrived.
Wait, what is going on? At the point he even stopped calling me favor. He started calling me Chappy. I knew that, okay, he gets the message. Then at the point when my dad wants to do a project and he's like, okay, Alpha, I'm doing this project. He's not telling me because my dad is calm. Is financially, but he's like, I want to do this, but I'm like, okay, daddy, I'll just give you this amount. Do you understand? Or he comes to my house, like he came to my house some months ago and he saw like a couple of $100,000 like like improvement in the house. And it's like
set up
and then they're like, okay, daddy, okay, he wants to do this thing. And you're like, daddy, don't worry, I'll settle it. Or my brother's fees, or like, do you get what I'm saying? He at that point he will be more. I don't know if the word is. I think it's more than proud. Do you get what I'm saying? At that point, he's even the one that will even start giving you advice. You can either do this instead or than doing this way. Do you understand? So I feel like the only thing that can counter insults is results. And until when you get that result, you can't find the salt.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Basically, that's it.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chappy.
I'm grateful.
Appreciate you.
I'm very grateful.
And as you heard from him, you can't get result without hard work. You have to put in the hard work there. And you also have to have people that can actually offshoot you to like the next level. Obviously, you will not remain there, but they will push you to much more than you have seen. Thank you for joining this episode.
For joining us.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you.
See you next episode.
See you next episode.